All right, let's dive into a really weird paradox, one that sits right at the heart of the digital economy. We're talking about an industry that promises, freedom, fortune, the whole dream. But behind the curtain, it's hiding this massive crisis of failure. So let's get right into it.
Okay, first, let's just get a sense of the scale here. We're talking about an industry valued at a staggering, get this, $17 billion in 2024, and it's not slowing down. Projections show it's going to rocket towards almost $28 billion by 2027. So this isn't some, fringe idea floating around on the internet. It's a massive, totally legitimate, and super fast-growing part of how we all buy and sell online. I mean, 81% of brands use it. It's an absolute powerhouse.
So with an industry that big and successful, you'd think the people actually doing it would be cashing in, right? But that's where the paradox really hits. You've got billions and billions of dollars on the table. So the big question has to be, why are so many people failing?
And oh boy, do they fail. Research time and time again points to a really shocking number, an estimated 95%. 95% of people who try affiliate marketing fail. The vast majority earn basically nothing. So what on earth is going on? Why is there this giant canyon between how successful the industry is and how much individuals are struggling? Let's unpack that.
So, if you go and Google, why do affiliate marketers fail, you're going to find a pretty standard list of reasons. The usual suspects, right? But here's what's so interesting, and this is the key. Those common reasons, they're just symptoms. They're not the real deep down problem. Think of it like this. They're the fever, but they're not the infection causing it. So, let's take a look at the top 3 symptoms first.
First up, and this is a big one, is just having the wrong mindset. People jump in with this get-rich-quick idea, thinking they're going to be making passive income by next Tuesday. They see all the glamorous promises of freedom, but they totally miss the part about the massive amount of work it takes to build that. And then, when that instant success doesn't happen, well, they get discouraged, they quit, and a lot of times they just write the whole thing off as a scam. Okay, symptom number 2. A total lack of focus. You've probably heard of this. It's called shiny object syndrome. It's that constant temptation to jump from one strategy to the next, one course to another, one secret method to the next big thing, all without ever really mastering a single one. People just end up with a hard drive full of courses they've never finished, always chasing the next hot trend.
And this old saying just hits the nail on the head. In the online world today, it's not just 2 rabbits you're chasing, it's hundreds. Every single email, every ad you see, every video popping up in your feed is a new shiny object, and they're all promising some kind of shortcut. And what happens when you try to catch them all? You just end up completely exhausted with absolutely nothing to show for it.
And that brings us to the third symptom, just not taking enough action. And this can come from a couple of places. Sometimes it's analysis paralysis, where you research and plan and strategize forever, but you never actually hit publish. Or maybe it's just a fear of failure, right? A fear of looking stupid. The sad reality is most people quit within the first few months, often right on the cusp of when their hard work could have started to pay off.
Okay, so we've got the wrong mindset, zero focus, and not enough action. Those are the symptoms. But here's the big pivot. This is the real insight. The reason for all of this stuff isn't about tactics or strategies. It's psychological. The core problem is a fundamental mismatch of identity. Plain and simple, people are trying to get the results of an entrepreneur while still clinging to the identity of an employee.
And what's so cool about this is how clearly it shows the conflict. I mean, just look at failure for a second. As an employee, you're trained to avoid failure at all costs, right? It's bad. But for an entrepreneur, failure is everything. It's an essential learning tool. It's just data. Or how about decision-making? An employee, for the most part, waits for instructions. An entrepreneur owns every single choice. It's so clear. You just can't win the entrepreneurial game if you're playing by an employee's rulebook.
Okay, so if the problem is all about identity, it makes sense that the solution has to be about identity too. And look, this isn't just some rah-rah motivational fluff. This is a concept that's deeply rooted in behavioral psychology, made popular by experts who've spent their life studying how we form habits and create real, lasting change. And this quote from James Clear, the author of the mega bestseller Atomic Habits, just nails it. True behavior change is identity change. It gets right to the core of it. The best, most effective way to change your actions, what you do, is to first change who you believe you are. You can't just fake it till you make it and act like an entrepreneur. You actually have to become one. So what does that actually mean in practice? Well, identity-based change is basically when you stop focusing so hard on the outcome, the goal, like I want to make $10,000 a month. Instead, you shift your focus to the identity. I am a successful entrepreneur. And that shift, that small change in focus is absolutely crucial because your behaviors will naturally, almost automatically, start to line up with the identity you've chosen instead of you having to force them with sheer willpower.
Okay, I get it. This all sounds great in theory, but how do you, actually do it? How do you just shift your identity? Well, it's not magic. It's a process. And based on a lot of proven principles, here's a practical 5-step plan to help guide you through that transformation.
So let's just walk through these real quick. First, you have to decide who you want to become, and you write it down in the present tense, like, I am a helpful content creator. Step 2, you cast small votes for that identity. Every single time you write a blog post or make a video, that's a vote. You're proving it to yourself. Third, you've got to embrace failure. A failed campaign isn't a disaster, it's just data telling you what to try next. Fourth, shift from scarcity to abundance. Stop looking at everyone else's competition and start seeing them as potential partners. And finally, number 5, focus on giving, not getting. Your goal isn't to get commissions. It's to earn them by giving so much value that people trust you. The money? That'll follow the trust.
So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this simple phrase: identity precedes results. That insane 95% failure rate, it's not because the affiliate marketing model is broken. It's not a scam. It's a mirror reflecting a deep psychological mismatch. You simply cannot think like an employee and expect to get the results of an entrepreneur. It doesn't work that way. You have to first become the person who is capable of getting those results.
Which really brings us to the final, most important question. And the question isn't, can affiliate marketing work? I mean, come on, the industry's $17 billion valuation pretty much answers that one for us. No, the real question, the one you have to ask yourself, is this: are you willing to do the internal work? Are you willing to become the person who is destined to succeed? Because that is where the real transformation actually begins.